Am I going too far? Am I trying too hard? You don't seem to mind. To fly, ooh, you and I, so let's try. Catch this fire with me. Come catch this fire with me. Come catch this fire with me. Come catch this fire with me. Oh, and every night, oh, I fantasize. It could be paradise. Whoa, so why don't you fly? Whoa, am I going too far? Am I trying too hard? You don't seem to mind. Too fly, ooh, you and I. So let's try. Catch this fire with me. Come catch this fire with me. Yeah. Come catch this fire with me. Yeah. Come catch this fire with me. You often we forget that everybody has all kinds of setbacks. Everybody's been through it, I've seen that. So we just don't get to reach it and really say, the whole world is everybody going through is always moving stuff. I think it's the next flag, always moving stuff. Following the next trend, what happened to be in you. We forgot to smile. Forgot to love again. Forgot our inner child. Forgot to trust again. Forgot to be human. What's going on? We should let go now. I want to see you smile. See you smile. See you smile. What up in the world of social media? Everyone that you can see on social media. Who's past this past the show past? Really was we still out with big cats. The world's past the children and they go back. So they hospitals they get past. I was just they talking and saying they don't want home to me. Try to say that it's too damn. Hope things don't hold you get to the shut. God is poison, it's turn around. We don't care because we try to do everything. I'm just scared because we act. When you see me, I'm not standing like me. I want me to do everything. I'm strong and I'm working. I'm ready to be a really just how to do it. See you.
What is good, artists and art lovers? It is January 2nd, 2021. We made it. Happy New Year from Evolute Culture Ventures. This is the latest edition, the first edition of the new year of our poetry talk show, Next Up. I am Sean Battle, your host, as well as the founder and CEO of Evolute Culture Ventures, an organization that since October of 2014 has aimed to hold space for artists and art lovers through showcases, open mics, events such as this, whether it be live events or virtual programming. And we still here, all thanks to the credo that we follow based upon WWE superstar Triple H. In life, you either adapt or you perish. That is evolution. And adapting to the COVID-19 lockdowns and things of that nature is what led to this very programming, as well as very other initiatives that we got going on this year. So I want to say thank you in advance to all who are checking us out, who have subscribed to Evolute Culture's YouTube channel already. We are looking to have many more as we aim for 1,000 subscribers within this coming year, within 2021. Trying to get things up here and get more eyes on our product as we continue series such as this that will have us go one-on-one with poets and speak on them and what it means for them to be next up. Before we bring up our guest though, I do want to remind you, Haslam did it earlier, so there we go. Just a quick reminder that if you want more information on who we are as an organization, make sure to subscribe to Evolute Culture on YouTube for, again, 1,000 subscribers is the goal. Also, make sure you are checking out evoluteculture.com. I'll bring up the website in a second so that y'all can take a look. Okay, hold on. Let me just quickly, there we go. So this is what the website looks like right here. Make sure to check out evoluteculture.com. This is where you can find more information about the organization itself, as well as see what we are selling in terms of our apparel line. These are snippets from the Catch These Vibes collection that we have going on, but we have many more collections that are available as well. Various shirts, hats, jackets, hoodies, whatever it is that you're looking for. We got mugs, we got masks, we got sneakers. And I'm an author, so both of my poetry books, Profess and The Forest of Bricks, are on sale on the site as well. Trying to make it so where I'm Amazon free. You can also get more information on our flagship show and the history of it, Evolution Dope and Mic, which will be making its return after a 9-month hiatus due to the pandemic. We are bringing that back. It will be virtual. It will be streamed live on Evolute Culture's YouTube. There are some spots available still if you want to sign up to perform. So make sure to reach out to evoluteculture@gmail.com or inbox us through Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook at Evolute Culture. And make sure to follow us there as well as we continue doing what we need to do to provide entertainment and enlightenment for all of you. Thank you in advance for all the support that you give us. All right. Oh, there's another example of the merch that we got. Make sure that's shown. There we go. Oh, wait, now I got to back up. My bad, y'all. This is what happens, y'all. Pandemic programming. There we go. And yep, that's where we go. At least y'all saw it. But enough of me talking. Hold on. Jesus Christ, what is this? I'm moving around too much. I should have left stuff alone. Oh, Lord have mercy. But it's cool. It is cool. Adapt or perish, ladies and gentlemen. Adapt or perish. Okay, so moving right along, let's bring up our guest for tonight. He is someone that I met, 2 years now? 2 years ago? At the Mocha Lounge, not Mocha Lounge in Newark, New Jersey, rest in peace, but Mocha Lounge in Harlem, New York. to an open mic of which he was the co-host for, one of which I featured for my 30th birthday. And it was through our president's treasure board that I met this individual and his circle of people, and someone that I definitely want to not only know more of, but introduce to our audience here more at Evolute Culture and continue to do what we need to do. He has performed at Evolution before, and he definitely felt the love there, and people were dynamite about his talent. I'm rambling. Let's just get to the conversation. Next up, Lex. Lyrics.
What's up, Sean? Hey, Lex Lyrics
What's going
here.
on? What's going on, man? It's good to see you.
Yes, we are in the new year.
Yes, indeed. We made it. As is tradition here, I've rambled long enough. Poets do not tell, we show.
Let's go.
Out.
You know that moment when you are super aware of time passing and you just haven't been participating in it? I see everyone dressed in costumes around me, and I'm not talking about Halloween, Mass Stranger. I never promised to wait for the reveal. You took my silence as confirmation, my patience as a scale to measure this exchange of kindness. I never promised to add up to the increments you ascribed me to. I never even promised to know me. At the very least, I never named you my lonely. I don't care for meaningless encounters. I'm far too aware of that now. Maybe this hurt is our constant, that uncomfortable, comfortable thing that keeps us attached to the past. I'm ready to be uncomfortable for the first time. Conflict gets an invitation. No, actually, the best seat at the table. I want everyone to see it. No, I don't care for polite. Kind feels so much better. That grimace to resemble a hello, that awkward interaction before goodbyes. I'm tired of waiting for conflict to jump me at every corner I've ever hidden my reservations. The truth is that I always suspected. So was it by surprise, or did I need to feel hurt to feel alive? I don't know. What I do know is ignorance has never been blissful. I've attempted staying there. But to be fair, inside of every thought that knew better was this overwhelming feeling of I can't stay here, at least not forever. The middle is awkward and painful. The middle is beautiful and underrated. The middle is everything between the journey of the only things I ever know to be certain. Life never promised us anything, and death has always given us something to count on. Here is where I found the middle is exactly where I've always tried to be. The middle is the only place I'd ever be until the end. So, life, my good friend, I'll take you with me, because without each other, neither of us would be here right now. So who'd have thought we'd meet here? At the intersection of broke down and giving up, it turns out isolation wasn't shutting everyone out, rather shutting me in. I was trying to see myself in foes and friends and wound up back here with me again. Maybe the lesson wasn't just about righting wrongs. It was about trusting me all along. I've been singing different songs with the same tune, waiting on those blue moons to make it safe here. Why am I waiting for change here? At this place where I know it isn't coming, why is disappointment comforting? I've trained myself to be let down. So I guess that's why I'm keeping myself here now. I'm too used to broken promises. It's not okay anymore. I don't owe you the pieces of myself I was never willing to part with. What's wild is I don't even know how this all started. It seemed innocent until the demons you were dealing with started speaking to me, until what you were fighting started looking like me. Thank you.
Ooh, Lord have mercy. Thank you so much, man. Thank you.
Appreciate
it. Where do I even begin? Like, through that, I'm just picturing every day that people have gone through with the pandemic, the social aspect of it, the mental aspect of it. We could talk about the virus all day long, but my mind, the sickness, it is what it is, and peace to those who have lost their lives in the midst of it. But man, this has really challenged those who feel like they need that social gathering, if only for a moment, to just feel alive and to feel something. Like, how have you, like, we hear a little bit of a portrait of it through the piece, but how exactly have you been able to navigate through this, especially in New York?
Yeah, I mean, it's really about digging deep in those reflections. Like, every week is kind of like a new revelation. I feel like, and I really feel like if you have the privilege of having some sort of stability during this time, that you need to be doing that work. You need to be doing that internal work. you need to be doing that self-managing, you know, like how can I show up better for myself first and then for the people around me. Because if anything that we've learned in this time is that your community, your network, is really important. So it's important to nourish yourself and then be able to nourish those around you. So that's really what I've learned. And so through this, it's kind of like all of that is knowing like what is the truth for you, right? What is the truth that you've been making up, you know? And yeah, and growing from that and knowing when you can self-edit, you know?
Absolutely. My second book of poetry, Profess, deals with the question what happens when everything that you've learned so far has proven to be outdated or outright lies. And I imagine for a lot of people, what they thought to be truth, what they thought to be absolute, has definitely been challenged.
Oh
As
my,
an artist, as a just as a curator,
yes.
like how have your truths been challenged? What has proven to be outdated? What has been shown to you to be an outright lie?
Yeah, I mean, an outright lie right now, it's really all the things we kind of knew, but we didn't talk to each other about. Like, you know, with things with government, and I don't want to get too heavy on it, but and things with health, you know, and how there's just disparities with Black and brown people and how we're treated in these facilities. I mean, these things these are things that we knew. And so like for me, what's been an outright kind of like lie is a lie that we've been telling each other, you know, and kind of like trying to look for all this evidence. And it's just, it's so clear. And so what is so important for me is that we're not in this competition mode, which I see that it's changing. And I'm really excited about that. So, and what was the other portion of that?
We went to the outright lie part, but what
Mhm.
has proven to be outdated now in terms of any
Outdated.
beliefs that you held?
Oh, yeah. Outdated is basically that connection needs to happen a specific way. I feel like I always wanted to have that like in-person connection with people, and kind of dismissed the value of how you can really connect with people using this technology, you know. I mean, there's a downfall on it in one way, but then it's also like it really transcends barriers, you know, where you can communicate with people when they're traveling this way or that way. So that has been something that I've realized my mechanism and how I could communicate before. I needed an update, you know, an update and learning how other people communicate too. And I think we've all been sort of like in that mode of like, oh, I didn't know I said things this way, right? Or I didn't know people were receiving me this way. I think communicating has definitely become more fine-tuned and needed an updated. So
I definitely agree with that. Right now, we got the Clubhouse app that has launched a couple months ago, and I got an announcement in regards to
yeah.
Clubhouse later on. But I was just there now, and I've seen them do like poetry rooms, like it's like pop up open mics, and people just going in there. It's funny. It's funny, and I bring this up because you've also done like virtual open mics and virtual ciphers. It's so funny how when you take away the glitz and the glam,
Mm-hmm.
take away the pomp and circumstance that we are familiar with, all that is left is the art itself. And
Yes.
with so many people looking to connect and so many people for a sense of normalcy, that is what people leaned on. Do you find yourself, have you found yourself, in that scenario, and how has that transition been for you?
Yeah. So yeah, the transition between sort of like being going to events consistently. Well, okay, so as a curator, you don't realize how much you're not present for, especially when you are in the middle of like, okay, everyone's safe, you know what I mean? Everyone's seated, everyone has what they need, everyone has their accommodations, right? You're not really present for a lot. And that's what I realized. And that's something that with this new setup, I appreciate that I can really listen to the art. You know, a lot of curators, I feel like we need to talk about that more. Is like sometimes there's not enough time for you to even be present, right? And so that's something that I like that has changed, and adapting in this new sort of like technological setup is like there's so many different ways to have people present, across states, across countries. Like I had an open mic where someone was on there from Japan,
Mm.
and I really love that. Yeah, I really love that.
Yeah, I can definitely attest to that. 10
Yeah.
years, 10 years or so of hosting various shows of some kind, six of it being with Evolute Culture. Your mind is like over here, and can't even catch what's going on stage. And
Yes.
sometimes, or you get so caught up in the piece, and somebody's got to snap you out of it. Like, God damn it!
Yes. You're in a
This is
daydream. Like, damn, that was good.
oh my goodness. That's why
Yeah.
like you need a co-host or something to like. You need a team.
Yes.
You
A
need a team,
team.
period.
You need a team.
Shout outs to Treasure Board, my president. Shout outs
Yes,
to
treasure.
Don
Yeah.
Krypton, the general manager. Shout outs to a few
Yes.
other. Shout out to Ashley the poet, the vice president, and a few others. I'm not going to name them now because there are some announcements connected to their place on the team. But then y'all know who the fuck y'all are. But yo, that brings me to how we met because
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
let me just paint the picture y'all for y'all real quick. At the time, I'm teaching in New York. Shout outs to Citizen
Yes.
Schools. And Treasure and I had met not too long ago. She told me about the open mic y'all do at the New York Mocha Lounge. I gotta say it like that because
Yes.
there's one in New Jersey. There was one in New Jersey. And so I was like, you know what? I got time. I'm off work at 6. And it's gonna take me like an hour and a half to get back to New York anyway, and I'm not going to sleep. Let me get anyway, shout out to my night owls. Let me take my black ass to Harlem and check this show out. And so I did, and
Yeah.
that's when I met you and your team at the time.
Yeah.
And when I tell y'all the energy was so different and so necessary, and you were definitely a part of it, and how welcoming and just kind you were to everybody in the room, but also assertive and making sure that everyone felt safe, everyone felt secure. And for that, I will forever like remember that. You know what I mean? Um,
Yeah.
you know, it's funny how transition works, how change works, because you used to, and I noticed something also. There seems to be a brand change on your end because I knew you as the founder of Word Vomit Poets.
Yes. Yeah, something that was co-founded with Tony. And so what we did was, Tony has his own thing going on. And right now, Word Vomit Poets, we're transitioning to something called Andrix Genesis. So it's gonna be similar things, but more focused on community, more focused on impact, more focused on healing. And so I'm really excited for what's coming up on there. So y'all, keep tabs on it. Go ahead, follow Andrix Genesis. It's ANDRX GEN so ISIS. And so yeah, go ahead, follow us. And I'm really excited. I'm gonna be announcing what we're gonna be doing. And we're really talking about healing. I think that's what we really need right now. So
Definitely. Like I think a lot more brands are switching towards, if they weren't on that holistic tip before in terms of really dealing with the person behind the art, the circumstances have definitely forced us to really think about it if you're really in tune to what's going on. Shout out to Treasure again with the mental health check-in, Renew with Evolute. And you have done some similar things in terms of just checking in on people. But with that, there's also challenges for us as curators in that, damn, who holds space for us? Because I don't know,
exactly.
like, because sometimes it feels like, because sometimes it feels like you are creating worlds for other people to to occupy in and to be themselves,
Yes.
but there's no room for us. Like, tell me of a period where you may have felt that way and how you were able to kind of turn things around to make sure, hey, this is for me too.
Yeah. So I realized that curating events, you have to be someone that is receiving something from it as well, right? Like the whole thing is that it's an exchange, and you have to be as invested in what is happening for other people as you are yourself, because it's a part of the experience. And also, like, what fun is it if other people can see that you're not having a good time, you know and so I realized that it being able to be pure and authentic, like, when artists came to events in the past, I've often been in the booth with people, like, hugging up on somebody, who may have lost somebody. These are the things that we cannot do it in the same way, but you can go ahead and give all the virtual love to somebody, and it doesn't cost you, and so that's what I really love about what I'm learning to have in these events online, is like being able to send that energy. I mean, like, I really think that people should look into Reiki and things of that nature. There's so much healing that you can do, and then also, like, have those people that encourage you to, like, go take a walk around the block, those people that you can safely gather with. It's really important in this time. Mhm.
Definitely. My mom was going nuts for a couple of months. And finally, Treasure, because I was working from home at the time, I was teaching at the time still. And so outside of, going on Sundays towards my second job, I was in the house losing my mind. Finally, Treasure was like, come on, we going for a walk. Get your ass outside. Like, you gotta have that person. You gotta have those people to definitely do that and definitely push you if you don't have that space. And going back to the writing aspect, I just remembered how you used to open up the shows where it was like freestyles,
The
people
10
throwing
words.
out different words. People throwing out different words. It's got like you get like 7 words, gotta write them down, and you're freestyling the poem.
Yes.
You're freestyling the piece.
Mhm. That was my
Good Lord. Now that I thought about that, I should have had a list of 7 words ready, but
It's
maybe
so
I
good.
do.
We always have another time. Yeah.
But what do you do now to keep yourself going creatively now that you're seemingly have some more time, even though it looks like differently?
Yeah, honestly, my girlfriend, my partner, is also an artist, and so it's really cool because we can bounce off of each other a lot. So, like, she does this thing that it's like she's on the sidewalk and looking at different things that inspires her, and so we kind of like riff off of each other. And then when I'm in my zone, I like to put on tight beats. So I'm a big fan of, like, putting on a beat, not knowing necessarily where it came from. There's a tons of lo-fi beats and all kinds of kind of African beats online that you can just vibe to. And so I love doing that. And I've been looking into more indigenous, like Taino songs, and just singing and just letting that energy come through you. And that has been cool because it's on YouTube. You can, do whatever you want, and just don't feel bad if you mess up. That's been my biggest thing, is like, if you mess up, just keep going. Yeah.
Yeah, that's been me too, especially with the lo-fi, with Afro house, dark house, whatever it is that I got on, and just have it in the background. I'm like, I'm getting my dance on, and I don't even. It's messed up. Like, you be the type of person that you're not a party person at all. You're not a club person at all.
Yeah.
But then you find yourself missing stuff that you didn't even go to like that in the first place. Like, what's the one thing where it's like you really did? Like, what's the one thing for you? You didn't do it often pre-COVID, but now that it's no longer available, it's like, damn, bruh.
Honestly,
I wish I could do
I
this.
feel like I would be riding a unicycle. Like, I don't know. Like, it's one of those things that it's like you're like while anything that I could have been doing outside, I maybe I would have been doing it at this moment. Honestly, parties. I think that I was invited to quite a few parties that I did not show up to, and I am sorry about that. But I've been, but
I'm sorry in advance.
sorry about that. But I have been like outside. I will say, in the summer, I was outside all of the time. Okay, I was like, yeah, I was just trying to be outside, especially because I had the privilege of having a backyard, and that was the first time that I had that in a minute. I was definitely enjoying planting and gardening and stuff like that. So I really feel like if people have an opportunity, even inside, to garden or like, just do it. Just do it. Plant something, grow something. It makes you feel nice. That's all I know.
For real, for real. I'm checking the chat right now. I meant to say this earlier. I knew I missed something. I'm sorry, y'all. We baby YouTubers up in here. We still getting used to this.
Baby.
But there is a chat room. Shout outs to Jeanette, who hi Jeanette. Happy New Year to you too. Shout outs to Poets with Purpose. Happy New Year to you too. That's Noel, also from New York that I know him from. He said, we were talking about curators earlier. He said, true, poets and event hosts definitely have had to make adjustments during the pandemic. There's more time to now be in the moment and to focus. Definitely. Shout out to Don Krypton, who also jumped in. If you are watching this and you have a question in the chat and you have a question, feel free to put it in the chat room. We'll definitely get to them over time. And yeah, so definitely if you have a question, just drop them in there and I'll definitely get to them before the end of the show. Right now, though, I want to do, is the word I'm looking for? Circle back around so that Lex Lyrics can give us piece number 2. Right now, this is Next Up, the Poetry Talk Show presented by Evolute Culture. Catch these vibes. We were going to change the name, but our previous guest gave such a great question, great answer to the last question that I always ask, and I'm going to save that for later. Then I'm like, nah, I'm not going to do that. To see what I mean, make sure to check out past episodes of Next Up, including for the poet Moy Cali Works. But we are here with Lex Lyrics out of New York. And Lex, what is piece number 2 that you have for us, sir? The floor is yours.
Thank you. They try to prey on each one of my lives. Still couldn't poke out all of these eyes. They mad that hate ain't working. These days I keep dates aside to let the pain subside or resurface. Here we go on the surface again. What you gonna do, little earthling? Surfing on the woes of my ego's deflected persona be my cheat code. Can't get to me though, not even on the sequel. Duct tape on the peephole. Your idols all see through. Your God's still waiting to meet you. Come again. I never landed planning on being anyone's equal. I didn't even have any expectations till I became the greatest. Had to meet me to see me, left the picture teeming, is beaming, is seeming. We finna bust out these Siemens. I'm deep in the shadows. Used to herd my kind like cattle. The 90s sound like shred you a shrapnel. My touch is galacto. The sun shine on my mantle. Confident because I'm feeling my purpose. You're projecting because you feel worthless. Let them on hurting on purpose. Purpose. Can't be mad because you ain't got one. Meditate on each one of your grievances. All I could be is me with this. My mama made me my lips bleed to this. Thought God punished me with this. Now the camera crew asking me how I could be this big. At 5 years old, some may grow cold. They just don't know behind the flesh is your soul. So trust none of what I see and half of what I hear. To be clear, the darkness brought this light. Y'all could have your holy night. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Man, you take us on such a ride with your writing overall. Yeah. And the rhythm is something that you just, it feels like lo-fi.
Yes. Yeah.
Like, was that something intentional? And if not, what made you go towards like that route in terms of not just your writing, but also your performance style, your cadence?
Thank you. Honestly, this is something that I've done since I was very young. I have always like loved the sound, just sounds, and what we can do with our words and the feeling, and so when I was younger, like I would just read the dictionary for fun, I was like really like that. And I loved just learning about language. And so when I find out the different meanings to things, I like to put that energy in my words. And so that's what I like about the spoken word, is that I've been learning about like alchemy and what that is on screen, and how when we translate things, there's a certain alchemy that can happen. And so I feel like spoken word is like that. It's not like the written word where, there's things don't jump at you. When I'm delivering a piece, I'm really conjuring an energy, and I want people to feel what it is I'm trying to get across. So I want you to feel like everything that I'm saying is tangible, and you can drop in at any moment and catch the feeling, and you know where you're at. And that's one thing that, you know, growing up, I was fed things like Mark Twain and Shakespeare in school, and nothing that kind of like emulated anyone like me, and growing up, realizing like people like Maya Angelou and just like Langston Hughes and just all these other people that I realized that I could find my voice through spoken word, and that it doesn't have to be all textbook. So mm.
It's funny you mentioned Dr. Maya Angelou, because I feel like she's one of those poets where, going back to what you said about people just dropping in like in the midst of the vibe, the one phrase that comes to my mind is pocket dimension. Like every poem can be seen as a pocket dimension, and you're just dropped in there.
Yeah.
As opposed to, because I kind of write similar in that
Yes,
you're not going to get bars per se. Like, you're probably not going to pick out one of my phrases unless it's like a hook or something like that, to like quote, or in terms of like, oh, that was a bar.
Yeah.
Even though I focus a lot on visuals. I focus a lot on taking people to a certain world, and that's what you end up doing, I feel, with your work. What has been I also feel like when I'm thinking of the movie Soul in my head right now, like going into the zone. Spoiler alert for those who haven't seen it. Going into the zone, if you will, where you're zoned out, like super in the moment as an artist.
Oh yeah.
What has been that? Can you take us back to that an example of you being in the zone, whether it's writing the poem itself, whether it's sharing it? Like, what example have you had? It was just like, as much as you create the dimension for yourselves, again, you're doing this for yourself, for others. Again, you're doing it for yourself as well.
Yeah.
What was that moment? Take us to that one moment where you felt like you was in that zone, in that dimension.
Well, I freestyle. Like that is like what I do for fun. This is like I'm somewhere else. And I'm just, just catching words out of the air, and that's where like that is my special place. And it's fun, and it's just something that I really enjoy, is when you can have a feeling or just a thought, that sometimes, your thoughts are so much more than what you can actually articulate. And so when I'm freestyling, I feel like that's that current, I'm actually just extrapolating from the ether. And so like that's my happy place. And so yeah, that's it. That's like, yeah. And then also I would say I haven't done any recently, but visual art, like painting, is something that I love to do. And so this year I'm putting that into practice. Yeah.
Awesome, awesome. I'm looking forward to seeing some of your work. That was gonna be one of my next questions. Like, what else are you doing outside of writing to kind of like pass the time? Like you mentioned the visual art. And I was gonna say earlier, I might as well mention this, but also it seems that cooking has been a big part of that as well.
Yeah.
Shout out to your partner with the bomb ass vegan mac and cheese.
Yes. Oh my goodness, they're right here. Yo, yeah, food, vegan food has been like, listen, um, if I knew, then I would have done this a long time ago. Honestly, because I just feel so much lighter, and so much more present. And so, but I will say it is a hard transition, and I understand why a lot of people just cannot eat like this. And probably it's not for some people too. So I feel that. But for me, it has been a really cool journey. So that has been inspiring. And also, yeah, like I feel like it's interesting. All the creative things that I do, I feel like one could be the other. I feel like cooking is poetic. And I feel like sometimes when I'm eating, I want to sing. So like, so I feel like they all kind of intertwine. And I feel like for people out there, whatever is tangible for you, experience that art. Sometimes we don't have access to things, and so I feel like however you can do it, whether that's singing, whether that's beatboxing, just know that your voice is for free and is for you. So yeah, so I feel like
Definitely,
mm-hmm. Why a lot
definitely.
of people
Like,
gravitate to spoken word too. Well,
I,
mhm.
I'm just checking the chat real quick. You got a lot of fire emojis, man, for that last piece.
Thank you.
Um, and I just think about how one occupies this space, and how one is able to just get through the day to day, and also
Mhm.
what has been revealed to you.
Mm.
Like,
Um,
I'm just gonna I'm not gonna say too much, but let's just say that this year has seen a lot of relationships and things of that nature. Now that we didn't have the distractions, now that we didn't have to be in the same room and kind of keep up appearances, a lot of things got revealed.
oh yeah, yeah.
And this is it's definitely made me change up how I occupy my own community. Um,
Mhm.
and I say that with love, but I've definitely grown into being a more I said what I said type of person, and if you
Exactly.
sit with it, it'll get lost.
Yeah,
Because I just need my fucking peace. Like,
exactly.
what about you in regards to just whether it be the artist community or anywhere else, in New York, any other community that you occupy? How does everything that's happened change up how you navigate those circles?
So boundaries, fronteras in Spanish, boundaries. I'm learning that these things are really important, and also knowing that you can do it with kindness, and also knowing that when you can put your boundaries up in a loving way, and also be prepared also for the conflict at some point. I'm not saying to abandon that, but saying that when you can put loving boundaries up in the beginning, right, and facilitate that communication in the beginning, then you can avoid so much, right? Because sometimes the you're both good people, everyone's a good person until you start messing up with each other's boundaries, and then you start triggering each other, right? And so in order to kind of like help with that, it's just like saying to someone, hey, I need a moment, or I can't do that. Or even like when you are supporting someone, ask them how they would like you to be there for them. Do you need me to listen? Do you need advice, right? And this is something I'm learning, right? There's practice, and then there's play. Like once you're in the moment, sometimes you can forget these things, but it's all about bringing it back and remembering, right? Am I being reactive in this moment? I have to tap into that too. So it's really been a lot about that right now.
Absolutely. And with your new platform, I know you have a lot of announcements coming up in regards to programming and things of that nature. And this comes after months of doing it in other ways, but also seeing other people jump into it and
Oh yes. Mhm.
either succeeding and doing well, or it just falls
Oh yeah.
flats
It's
on their
mm-hmm.
face.
Mm-hmm.
Curator to curator, what has been a
Yes.
highlight of
Yes.
I guess we'll call it the virtual arts movement, and what has been a pet peeve or just whatever it is that you, as a curator yourself, you're trying to avoid from the get go?
So a pet peeve of mine, see, I'd never want to put anything out there just to put it out there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, um, for me, you it should matter to you how you're coming across, right? It should matter to you how how you're affecting your mental state and those around you. It should matter to you how your community receives certain things. Now, I also am like, to hell with respectability politics, right? You know what I mean? Like, I also just don't believe in the bullying. You know, like I see a lot of like, bullying, and it's like, come on, are we still believing in popularity in 2021? Are we still believing in this thing? Are we still keeping up with hierarchies and patriarchal views that keep us complicit to a system that is just pumping us dry? Or are we creating the connections with our community, you know? And that's really where I'm at, is like realizing that, maybe a village was not possible for me as a child in that way, but identifying where those strengths were, building on those strengths, and also realizing when I could have shown up better. And also like, what is mine and what is somebody else's, right? And so all of this has been a part of this time. All of this has been a part of like, what I would tell people, look, this has been a pet peeve of mine. Go ahead and check yourself sometimes. The reflection is hard. Make sure you have some loving people around you, because also, artists, sometimes we have this thing that we believe that we need to be a perfect way to be loved. You know what I mean? And newsflash, no, right? You need people around you, because if those around you are going to leave you in that moment, listen, we're not pretty at our unlovable moments, we're not. And so we need to understand that, right? Like when we need help, we're not going to always show up in a perfect little package saying, hey, I need your help. It doesn't happen like that. So I really, that has been a pet peeve of mine, is just seeing that I guess people are still believing in this, like degrading other people instead of like uplifting. That has been something that I'm seeing that things are changing. So I look forward to that changing even more, and us calling in those people that have been abusers and stuff. Like I think that social media has been such a healing platform for many, in that way. And so that's something that I'm looking forward for, that change. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's been a constant conversation within my own circles as well. Just certain things, it's like the more things change, the more they stay the same, and the more they're more what's the word I'm looking for? The more that you see and feel them,
Yes,
like
exactly.
people are going to be always going to be choosy as to who they support or what they support for various reasons, but
Mm-hmm.
that doesn't mean you don't have respect or recognize have respect in some way, shape, or form.
Yes, exactly. Like
And
understanding we're humans, you know what I mean? Like, and there's certain level of showing someone just humanness, humility, like just,
right,
yeah.
yeah, I'm stumbling my words a bit because I'm
Mhm.
trying to keep things as general as possible. But you know, as someone who's been doing this, how long have you been writing and performing? Actually,
So, okay, so writing and performing, I was in like middle school and stuff, like elementary, like sharing my poems, to my teachers and stuff like that. And so yeah, it's been some time, but honestly, I feel like I was just getting into performing a lot more right before this whole pandemic thing happened, yeah, like I was getting ready to actually be out doing a lot more things. And it's okay, I actually feel like I've been able to do more things now than I have in the past, because of, I mean, there's open mics on at all times now, so
right.
yeah.
So by the time I met you, because you were co-hosting the erotics open
Correct.
mic,
Yeah.
at that time. So was it a situation where you were hosting or curating more so than you were being not? I won't say being an artist, but because you were always
Yes.
writing, but you were
Yes.
being more of a host and a curator than
I
you were
was
a performer.
ex- Exactly. Yeah. I was definitely doing more of the curating, the networking, rather than being, dedicating time to my art. And it was definitely a trade. But I realized that I need to be doing more of my work and sharing that it's a fundamental part. And I think that as a curator, you need to know whether you're gonna, you have to have a balance between those things. It's really important.
Yeah, that's everything I need you to get up out my head. Because it's only because transparency. It's as if to see Sean Battle is to see Evolute Culture because I'm the brand's founder.
Yes.
And so it's been that balance. Like even now, I moved my books off of Amazon because fuck Jeff Bezos.
I feel you on that one.
And so I'm selling them on our website. Like you can get them now exclusively at evoluteculture.com. But it's like, hey yo, this is okay, this is the brand, this is the collective. What about yourself? So it's like finding that balance
Yes. It's
and knowing what you want to put that work on. Because due to circumstances involving a grant that we got, we're now a whole registered business. So it's like all hands on deck for that.
woo!
And I know for a while, like you've done that work as well and are doing it now with a new platform. So it's
Yes.
like, how, I guess, going into this new venture,
Mm-hmm.
what are you doing now to make sure it is more balanced?
You got to be organized. You have to be organized. Write your list. I check it twice. That's really what it is. And also not beating yourself up. You know what I mean? Like I'm right now this year, what I'm bringing in is having a balance between me time and work time and extra work time. And because it's like you fall into that thing like, oh, I'm not working right now, I'm doing something artistic. And it's like, but if you're like working towards something artistic, it's still work. So when you're engaging with people, that needs to be that time.
Right.
So and then when you're really focused on business stuff, you also have to have people around you that are going to be like, yes, you need your wellness right now, or people around you that are going to be like, oh, yes, I can that's a good idea, right? um so that's been a part of the journey, is like knowing where the work is. And also I've been learning also who to collaborate with versus who to commission work from, versus this is a very it's a learning process. um mhm.
There's so much I want to say in regards to that last part.
but
Oh God,
but
click it
we learn,
on, get the money.
yeah, we learn. And when your heart is in it and when it feels right, then everything kind of just starts to fall in place. So that's what I really want people to take that message, is like, when you're doing this for the right things, and as far as that concerns, the right things is like when it feels good for you, healthy, and when it's something healthy for those around you, then the blessings will just fall into place. So, mhm.
Absolutely. Um, okay, got that set up. And my original point was going back to just the years that we have done this, that you have done this, and just seen certain things.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah.
it made me it made me realize we are the aunties and the uncles that are putting the cookouts together now. And it's like, Treasure and
No,
I said this before,
I'm not
and
ready.
it's like, where the hell did the time go? I've been writing since 2006. I've been curating since
I'm not
2011.
the
Oh no,
uncle.
2009. Like,
Yeah.
where did the time go? Like seriously.
I'm just saying, this COVID times has really aged some of us, you know, mentally, mentally. No, for real. Even the younger ones, I'm there, you know, there's no fun in games. They're like, yeah, this is what I'm doing right now. You know, it's just a thing right now. So I'm
For
learning about,
real.
yeah.
Like,
But we definitely are the aunties and uncles.
oh,
We
Lord
definitely,
have mercy.
yeah.
That's not gonna change.
I'm not mad at it. You know, honestly, um, this has been being a curator and being someone who is just like receiving support and a support system. I really wouldn't have it any other way in this time. I think we're really noticing that, you know, we,
Absolutely.
we
Yo, this has been, it's so much I want to get into, but that's gonna have to be like within family and amongst safe space.
yeah.
Because I'm like, we the damn leaders of our brands right now. So I gotta keep that in mind.
Yeah,
Um,
we're gonna talk about it.
and that's just a note to everybody. And that's just a note to everybody.
We need to have
Understand there are artists.
mm,
Understand this. Poets especially, because we be the main fucking ones. There are some individuals that can't help their ears and what gets back to us. We can't help our eyes and what catches us from the rear view, what catches us in the corner. We may not do a lot of this off stage, but shit gets back to us and we keep it in mind in terms of what we put on our stage.
mm.
Take that as you will. Because like I'm sure you had to have those conversations multiple
Yeah,
times.
yeah. You know, we definitely need to have those conversations. It's also about right that safety thing. You know, we need to make sure that we are protecting each other, you know, when that protection isn't there, when there's a certain level of unfeelingness, we have to engage that and call people in. And I have definitely had to do a lot of de-escalating, definitely even sometimes within ourselves, because we're not, you know, it's like you're frustrated with all the things that are going on around you, you know, but you have to do that. And so once your actions start hurting other people, yes, we have to talk about that. Even at events, you know, sometimes I've had to tell homies like, listen, bro, you know, usually, unfortunately, another man, you cannot, right, just touch someone, right? You cannot, absolutely not just interrupt someone when they're performing and touch them and think that, you know, right? And the other way around would not ever be appropriate. So why would that be? And so like that is something that although we're not in the physical anymore, we have to be working on these things. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Also, you know, calling in your friend, you know, who's harassing people, right? Like we need to we need to
Let
call
me check
people
the
in.
chat real
Don't
quick.
just be like, oh girl, you crazy. No, call your friend in. Like, you know, that's what we need to do in this time. So you know, yeah.
Yeah, we definitely gotta talk because it is, yeah. That's what I'm gonna say right
You
now.
know, it's no more that weird uncle at the cookout. No, no,
No,
excuse
no.
me, weird uncle, come sit down. What you doing? What's wrong with you? Like, no, but you know, or what's
I'm
right
gonna even
with
be
you?
asking them. I'll be like, get them out. Because half of the time I'll see it and be like, you know what, hell no. Get your ass, get your ass
Uh,
out of here. You heard me say this before, because you've been
oh
at
yeah,
before. You heard me say
oh
the
yeah.
credo. You heard me say the credo. You will be and for those who haven't said it, it goes any racist, homophobic, transphobic, misogynoir, rape culture perpetuating, predatory in the head ass, words or actions on stage or off will not be tolerated. You will be shown the door. And by door in this day and times, I mean I will drop your ass from the live. I will drop your ass from the stream. Like
Mhm.
it be ASAP. And sometimes
It's
you get
crazy.
pushback from that because people think, oh, you're doing too much. What do you say to those
No.
individuals in that type of scenario where it's like, oh, you're doing the most, like you didn't have to do it like that?
Mm. I will say I have not been experiencing that, thankfully. I do see it happen though, and I am appreciative of those curators that challenge it, that challenge it, I will say, Jewel the Gem,
Hmm.
yeah, go ahead and follow at Jewel the Gem on Instagram. She has the word with B Hawks. She has been doing a lot of intentional work, just an amazing um just Black woman who is a powerhouse, and doing a lot of work for community and doing those uncomfortable things, like calling out these behaviors and actions. So like if anyone I would shout out that is doing that work, that you need to go, because that's where I learned a lot from, go follow her, because she's definitely doing that work and having those uncomfortable conversations that we all need to be having with people in our lives. So mhm.
Right. And for those who are wondering, like, what are you talking about? I thought for those who aren't within the community and don't know what we're talking about, Lex, you talked about some scenarios as well, but it could be also
Yeah.
doing just some dumb ish that could be having you within the
Mhm.
community, a small community,
A small
not just in
community.
Jersey, not just in the city. Like, I swear to God,
Yes, it doesn't matter.
I,
You can be upstate, downstate, you can
it
be in another country.
travels.
We know what's happening and we know what's going on, and we are in communication, and
Hmm.
and that's the whole thing, is that energy is not going to be tolerated. We are not for the abusing, we are not for the manipulation, we're not for none of that. And
You know,
that's what it is.
like, I don't care if it never happened in my, I don't care if it never happened in my house. If it get back to my ear, I'm gonna make sure it stays out of my house. We're gonna put it like that. And sometimes as curators, we have to make those difficult decisions. And yeah, we're gonna be seen as, oh, doing too much for it. But it's like, look, it's either this or y'all don't get no platforms at all.
Mm-hmm.
Because I said before, it is better for the community to bleed out and burn down than stand on the shoulders of monsters and apologists. Like,
Yes.
if we
Right.
cannot get it together in certain spaces, we're not gonna have no space, and
Yeah.
it's gonna be our fault on that. Um,
Mhm.
and so Lex, I want to say,
Mhm.
curator, thank you for the work that you do in that regard and just keeping people safe.
Mhm.
I know that you're gonna balance, everything out in regards to the artist side of it, but real shit. I'm personally am in a space where I don't want to be, just to use pro wrestling as a comparison. I don't give a damn about being Hulk Hogan. I want to be Vince McMahon, and that the real power
Mhm.
comes in really controlling the space where people are able to perform and keeping people safe as well to keep the art going. So
Absolutely.
I know for sure it ain't no easy ass task. So for that, I say thank you, and you will always have an ally in Evolute culture.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Real quickly, before we get into the last question and the last performance, I just want to share this on my screen so that people know of what is going on, because a lot has happened in regards to Evolute culture. I told you, um, because of us getting a grant and over the summer, shout outs to Newark Arts, and having that grant be in Evolute Culture's name by accident. We had no choice but to do something that should have been done a long time ago. So this past July, we registered as an LLC finally. Evolute Culture Ventures was born in terms of paperwork, and because of this, well, alongside with it, just some opportunities came our way. Um,
Mhm.
that has led to an expansion that I've been looking to plot. I've been looking for a long time, and of course, it will take a pandemic to get us out the way. So a lot has happened since then. And so to follow everything, make sure you go to evoluteculture.com. Make sure to follow us on all social media. But I'm rambling. Two things I want y'all to note. First of all, we have a Spotify playlist now that is now public. And Lex,
Oh.
you're on here also because I have you, Treasure, Hans Noir, the very first guest of Next Up, KB, Lady B. Also on here, anyone that has been a feature or a regular at any Evolute Culture event in the past 6 years, including the Lincoln Park Music Festival's first ever Poetry Day, you are on this list. You are on this playlist, and you will get a sense of the sound that we have cultivated over the years as an organization. So, Lex, you are on here. Your piece.
SoundCloud?
Yeah, not SoundCloud. I'm not on SoundCloud yet.
Spotify.
It's on Spotify right now. That's where it started.
Okay.
But we're on Spotify. Anybody that's on Spotify and you've been a regular or a feature at Evolute Culture and I've been able to find your shit, I put it on this playlist. Lex, you're on here, like I said. Shout outs to AVP and the Voices of New York CD. Treasure is on there as well with Not So Average Girls. You get sounds from the Euphony, Neo Wakia, R.I.P. Phenomenal, Jay Reed, Sir Thelonious, and many more. And the ism as well, and more on the ism in a second. But make sure you are checking us out on Spotify. And let me just stop my screen.
Is the link on the link tree?
I'm sorry?
Is the link on the link tree or something?
We don't have Linktree yet. That's the next thing that we're doing. I wasn't sure about Linktree just yet, but upon further research, I'm like, you know what? We need to invest in one. We got way too many fucking links going on right now.
I think it's free for a little bit. I think check it out.
It's free, and then there's but I may end up getting a premium because there's some stuff that I want to do, and the only way to do it is the premium. And there was one other thing I wanted to share that I can't freaking find now. Just my freaking luck. Maybe it's on here. Yes, it is. No, it's not. Okay. So I was going to show the flyer, and apparently I can't find it right now. That's okay. So let me just come out of the share. But I wanted to let y'all know, because there's literally one spot left. There's one spot left. Evolution Dope and Mike is coming back.
Yeah.
We went on hiatus since March with that particular show, and we were hesitant about bringing it virtual because we were worried about it, you know, how would it come off as virtual? Like, we need to learn more. And that led to other programming being done. And finally, I just said at the very last moment, you know fucking what? I'm done waiting. It is what it is. And I want us in full. We never left. We've been here. But I want us at full force. And if we were going to end up doing like some type of showcase monthly, I might as well bring the show back. So Evolution Dope and Mike, the flagship show, will be returning Saturday, January 9th, and will be on the second Saturday moving forward of each month for at least until June, at least until after June, and then we'll see where we're at. But Saturday, January 9th, it will be streamed live on Evolute Culture's YouTube channel, so make sure to subscribe to catch these vibes. The ism, hip-hop artist and house artist, you may have seen him at the Lincoln Park Poetry Cafe. He will be the feature for that night. The theme of the night, comeback. So make sure to hit us. So make sure to check us out on that night. It is going to be a tremendous occasion. There's some spots left on the open mic list. Just saying. Just saying. Email us at evoluteculture@gmail.com or inbox Evolute Culture on Facebook and Instagram in order to sign up. Do so ASAP because it's first come, first served. And lastly, before I forget, I mentioned before that I was in a poetry room, like a pop-up open mic on Clubhouse. I decided, because I have Evolute Culture has a pop-up show that we do sometimes called the Poetry Purge. The last one we did for New Year's, you can check that out on the YouTube channel as well. I'm gonna do one on Clubhouse tonight. So if you are on Clubhouse, follow me at SEAN Battle. I'm gonna do one on I'm gonna do a pop-up Poetry Purge open mic, and we just gonna have fun tonight and see how far we can go. Enough of the plugs. Lex, I got one more question for you.
Yes.
Before you close this out.
I'm downloading this app because I need to be there. Okay.
Oh my goodness. You need an I have a fucking invite. Damn. Yo.
That's okay. That's why I'm trying to find it, but it's okay. Let's go.
Are you a Droid or an iPhone?
iPhone.
Okay. I would post up on Instagram. Anybody got a Clubhouse invite and let me in? Or no, I think you can still create your profile. Download the app, create your profile. If I can pull you in, I will.
Okay.
So let's do it like that.
Dope.
Punchy Purse tonight. But before we do that, Lex.
Yes.
Lex Lyrics. Yes. What does it mean for you to be next up?
We on an ultralight beam. We on an ultralight beam. This is a God dream. This is a God dream. This is everything. It's everything. I'm talking about God. I'm talking about more. Yeah. Somewhere I can feel safe while in this holy war. We can act like every time you hit me up about random things, it ain't just the simple fact that you're missing me. We can act like your bed ain't empty, even if I'm wrong. The dude in my place can't sing my same song. We can act like I'm not there, as if we can act like as if I'm not there. As if every time you sift through my old clothes, you don't just get a whiff of me, as if that smell isn't so comforting and reminiscent, as if the grandeur, the picture of it all, doesn't all bounce back in those beautiful, all colored brown eyes, as if trust was the only problem and sex was the only thing to solve them. We can play this game where you don't mention my name when you're alone, just to hear the tone that I know you know it very well, because every time you say it, I'm summoned by your spell from heaven to hell. I'm not quite sure. See, I've examined every single morsel of your silhouette, and I've been in your sweat, and I've tasted your tears, and I've witnessed your fears, and with fear I may forget. I toss and turn in bed. And this is me, my ravenous, hungry mind, trying not to forget that peep this, just in 1, 2, 3 moments, everything becomes a memory. So I try to replay our episodes separately and systematically so that nothing is forgotten, nothing's left, not even the core. See, we've bitten into forbidden fruits and we've forsaken you, but this ain't no Eden. And you sure as hell ain't no Eve. I'm just trying to explain how the apple fell from the tree, and right in front of me, the devil's in the details, they say. So I try to be very all-inclusive, though I done polluted it, and though I done polluted the sanctity of what was us. And by no means what a problem's just about trust. I mean, we can play this game, but it's way too late. See, I've strategized and you put up your pawns too, but this ain't no game anymore. I was never here to peek under locked doors. I was never here to play. Hell's on earth and the city's on fire. In hell, there's heaven. Oh, 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 oh. In hell, there's heaven. So thank you. That is Cover Sandwich. That is a little bit of Kanye, and then me, and then Frank Ocean at the end. And it's an allegorical poem. So I'm taking you through my experience of religion, of seeing how that can play, how, in some ways we have hell and heaven within us all. And so it depends on what you engage and what you choose to manifest in someone. And so that's a journey of that told through a lens of like a relationship. So.
Thank you so much, man. Thank you so much. Where can they follow you right now on social media?
Yes. Follow me at Lex Lyrics. That's on IG. You can also go ahead and follow at Andrix Genesis. Once again, that's ANDRXGEN ISIS ISIS. Go ahead and follow me. I follow back. Thank you for having me, Sean. And I mad love to Evolute, the whole team. Yeah.
Lex Lyrics, thank you so much for all the work that you do. And thank you for your continued ascension. That is going to do it for us here at Next Up. I am Sean Battle. You can follow me on Twitter at True SEAN Battle, on Instagram at Battle Sean Battle, and just type in my name for the Facebook. And for everything regarding this, the Facebook, the Twitter, the Instagram, the YouTube, make sure you subscribe, especially before January 9th, Evolution Dope and Mike, and the .com where you can get 50% off the entire store and purchase some of our apparel. It's all the same. Evolute Culture. Follow us. Catch these vibes.